This week we're going to be reading a story called Whistle for Willie. Whistle for Willie is a realistic fiction story. That means that it's a story that maybe could have happened, but it's not necessarily a true story about someone's life. It's a story that is realistic. There's no creatures in it like dragons. There's no magic. It's a realistic story, but it just necessarily didn't happen exactly, and someone wrote it down like a true story, like a nonfiction story. So it is fiction. It's fake, but it's very realistic. It could have happened. Okay, for our PowerPoint today, we're going to start with thinking about how can you take good care of a pet. Some of you might have a pet at home. Maybe you want to have a pet someday. Maybe you know someone who has a pet. I want you to pause the video in just a couple seconds. I'll tell you to pause it again, but I want you to pause the video and come up with 5 reasons, 5 ways that you could take good care of a pet. If you have one, it could be ways you're already taking care of a pet. If you don't have a pet, it could be ways you could take care of a pet. Maybe if you got one someday or you had to pet sit for an animal that of someone you know. So I want you to go ahead and pause. You can use your fingers, you can use a list, and come up with 5 ways you could take good care of a pet. Now that you've finished coming up with ways you can take good care of a pet, we're going to keep going. Brain stretch. How do these words go together? Cat, dog, and rabbit. Let's find out. Cat, dog, and rabbit. These are kinds of pets. What are some more examples of pets? See if you can come up with 2 more examples of types of pets. Listen and learn. We're going to be substituting some vowel sounds. We haven't sang the vowel song together in a long time, so I'm going to sing it, and I hope on the other end you're going to sing it with me. Ready? A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. Those are the vowels. So today we're going to change that middle sound to make a new word. First, let's say the word hike. Ready? Hike. Now change the I sound to an sound. Those double O's. Double O can either say or oo. When it has that short U looking thing above it, that means it's short sound, so it's going to be So change the I in hike to Our new word is hook. Very good, like a fishing hook. Or your hooks maybe out in the hallway at school. Okay, we're going to try some more. Whoops, I just gave you that answer. Change the I in brick to an Our new word is brook. Change the A in take to an oo. Took. Ooh, they didn't have the short U above it. So it's actually not an oo sound, it's an sound. So let's do that second one again. Let's go right to that second one. We're going to change the A in take to an Our new word is took. My next word is stayed. We're going to change the A in stayed to Our new word is stood. These are a little bit tricky. If you're struggling with these, that's okay. You might want to watch this part of the video again, but we'll see more of this week. All right, we're going to start with the R sound in bark. We're going to change the R sound to an sound. My new word is book. We're going to change the I in fit to My new word is foot. And last one, we're going to change the E in weed to My new word is wood. Very good. Some of our new words you're going to see in our story this week are again, along, began, boy, father, house, nothing, together. Let's start reading some good sentences together. Sentence 1. Read it with me. Can I see the puppies again? Sentence 2. Yes, we'll sit along this wall. Sentence 3. A puppy began to lick me. Sentence 4. One boy laughed. Sentence 5. His father smiled at him. Sentence 6. Can we take it to our house? Sentence 7. We have nothing to feed it. And sentence 8. We'll care for it together. Say all the everyday words in a bumpy voice. Start on number 1 and read all the way down all those orange words in a bumpy voice. You can pause the video. Ready? Go. All right. Our oral vocabulary preview. This is usually the words that are going to be in that story I read to you on the carpet when I have you close your eyes. But since that book is at school, we're just going to talk about these words that are good words for you to know as first graders. Stay close to me and behave. Think if you know what the word behave might mean. We're not going to talk about it yet. Behave. Sizzling. He put the sizzling pieces of meat in a tortilla. Translated. This is a big word. I translated the words for Dad. I'm learning Spanish, but my accent isn't very good. Accent. The melted cheese was gooey. Gooey. Do you know what gooey means? And siesta. After lunch, we took a siesta in the shade of a tree. So we're going to go through and starting at the first one, behave. You know what behave means, first graders. It means doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, it's what someone asks you to do. It's behaving. It's what you are expected in your behavior. Okay, sizzling means really hot and just came out of a pan probably, or maybe out of the oven. It means almost dangerous, but it's sizzling because it's so nice and warm. So he put the sizzling pieces of meat in a tortilla. It means they're hot still. Translated. I translated the words for Dad. Translated means if somebody was speaking to me in Spanish and I knew Spanish but you didn't, if they told me their sentence in Spanish and I knew both Spanish and English, I could translate that for you. I could tell you what they're saying. Now, if I don't know Spanish, could I translate for you? No, because I wouldn't know that language. A person who translates has to know 2 languages. One from the person who's telling them something, and then they have to be able to take that, what they know about that language, and change it, and then be able to tell someone else so that that other person knows what that person was saying. That's kind of a tricky word, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about that word this week. Accent. I'm learning Spanish, but my accent isn't very good. So here's one example. There's a word in, well, if you think of the word tortilla, tortilla, those 2 L's at the end of the word tortilla, if you look up in the second sentence, the sentence with the word sizzling, the last word in that sentence is tortilla. If you were to say that with a bad accent, you might say it like this: tortilla. That would not be a very good accent. It's not how it's supposed to sound. You're supposed to say tortilla. Those double L's make a y sound in the Spanish language. So that's one example of having a bad or a good accent. The melted cheese was gooey. Gooey means it means like it was kind of like stringy, and probably it has to be warm to be gooey. If I just pulled out a block of cold cheese, it couldn't be gooey from the fridge. But if it's warmed up and kind of melted and it's almost soupy, then it becomes gooey. And siesta is a Spanish word that means nap or rest time. After lunch, we took a siesta in the shade of a tree. So it means they were kind of napping or resting in the shade of a tree. So the vowel sound you hear in cook is spelled with double O that says Excuse me. We're going to read some more words with the sound. Hood, stood, shook, look, would, good, foot, took, and book. Okay. Oops, I'm going to go back to that one. Oops, sorry, Mrs. Bilby messed up the PowerPoint. I'm going to go back to all these words. Let's see. There we go. The little boy is asking which words rhymed. Oh man. Mrs. Bilby's not doing very good at this. First grade, I keep messing this one up. All right, he's asking which words rhyme with brook. So I'm going to read them again. Up at the top is cook. Does cook rhyme with brook? Yes, it does. How about hood? Does hood rhyme with brook? No. How about stood? Does stood rhyme with brook? No. My next word is shook. Does shook rhyme with brook? Yes, it does. Look. Does look rhyme with brook? Absolutely. How about wood? Does wood rhyme with brook? Nope, they don't have the same ending sound. Good. Does good rhyme with brook? Nope. How about foot? Does foot rhyme with brook? No. What about took? Does took rhyme with book? With brook? Yes, and my last word is book, which also rhymes with brook. My daily edit. The girl and me walk around the farm. The girl and me walk around the farm. There's a couple of things that are wrong with this sentence. I want you to pause, see if you can find out what's wrong with it. I'm going to tell you after you pause. So go ahead and pause. All right, the girl and me walk around the farm. Let's see what's wrong with it. The girl and I walk around the farm. Girl is spelled G-I-R-L. And if you're talking about someone else and you would say the girl and I. That was a lesson that we worked on a couple weeks ago in reading, so hopefully you remembered that rule. And my last sentence says, the dog follows. Now this is very tricky. There's a word that's spelled wrong here. It's the word follows. Okay, it just has two L's. So that's something that you'll probably know when you just see it more in writing, but it still sounded the same. So if you caught that, you were extra careful to notice. Very good. We are finished with day 1. We'll see you tomorrow.